I want to take you back now to Capitol Hill and talk about what's taking place there. The Defense of Marriage Act. Now a House panel has voted along party lines to defend this controversial law which bans federal recognition of same-sex marriages. This comes just 1 week after President Obama ordered the Justice Department to stop defending it. House Speaker John Boehner saying the move by the House could ensure that this law's constitutionality is decided by the courts rather than by the president unilaterally. This is an issue that crosses from the political world of Capitol Hill all the way to the popular world of social media. I want you to check out this Facebook status post that people who support marriage equality are asked to post as their status. It says, so let me get this straight. Charlie Sheen can make a porn family. Kelsey Grammer can end a 15-year marriage over the phone. Larry King can be on divorce number 9. Britney Spears had a 55-hour marriage. Jesse James and Tiger Woods, while married, were having sex with everyone, yet the idea of same-sex marriage is going to destroy the institution of marriage. Evan Wolfson is the executive director of Freedom to Marry, and Peter Sprigg is senior fellow for policy studies at the Family Research Council. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me this morning. Mr. Wolfson, I want to start with you. Your reaction to what John Boehner is saying.
Well, what John Boehner is doing, what Speaker Boehner is doing, is inserting the House into a case in court that the President and the Attorney General have said should not be defended. What's being done in this case is a challenge to the so-called Defense of Marriage Act, which says that the federal government's practice of honoring marriages that are celebrated in the states will have a giant gay exception, and gay couples who are legally married in their home states, who are celebrating their union, who are committed to one another, who are dealing with life's ups and downs, should be shut out of all the 1,138 federal legal protections and responsibilities that come to marriage. And this gay exception is wrong. The President and the Attorney General said it shouldn't be defended, but the Speaker is trying to insert the House into the defense in court.
Mr. Sprigg, is the House panel doing the right thing? I mean, why does the House need to defend this law?
The House has to defend this law because the President and the Attorney General have abdicated their responsibility to take care that the laws be faithfully executed, which historically has always included defending those laws in court. The argument made by the Attorney General is very weak. In fact, the Defense of Marriage Act has already been upheld by at least 4 different federal courts, and his reasoning that sexual orientation classifications should be subjected to heightened scrutiny is also something that has not been established in the federal courts at all. So I think the Speaker did exactly the right thing because of the failure of the President and Attorney General to do their job.
But are people based, or their feelings about marriage based on religion?
No, I don't think that. I think that's a grave misconception that people have about this debate. Marriage is not simply a civil institution and not simply a religious institution. At its heart, marriage is a natural institution rooted in the order of nature itself. It is because it takes one man and one woman to make a child that we treat that relationship as something unique, because
well,
it is
what happens
unique.
to people who get married and don't have children, or Larry King, who's on his 8th marriage and hasn't had children with 6 of his former wives?
Well, obviously,
are you mandated to have kids if you get married?
You're not mandated to have kids if you get married, but it makes no sense to extend the benefits of marriage to a type of relationship that is incapable of ever creating children. That undermines the whole purpose of the institution, and it sends a message to society that no, children don't need a mother and father, and that's simply false. The social science shows that children do best when they have a mother and father.
So, Mr. Wolfson, when we hear that side of the argument, what is the practicality of moving forward in trying to say that there is equality needed on this front?
Right. Well, first of all, let's be clear. Many children in this country are being raised by their gay parents, and those kids are being harmed by Mr. Sprigg and his groups and these kinds of discriminatory laws that don't respect their family and allow their parents to have the best structure of support for their kids, which is what we all want for our kids. But this is not just my opinion. The lower courts in these cases that the President said should no longer be defended found that there is no good justification for the so-called Defense of Marriage Act. It found that the law is an exception to the way the federal government treats every other marriage. There is no good reason for this exception, excluding gay couples from marriage and the protections that the federal government provides, Social Security that we pay into, immigration rules that keep families together, support for parents and kids. There's no good reason for denying gay couples who are legally married enjoyed in their states, Iowa, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and so on, the legal protections and support that comes to their families and the responsibilities that help strengthen families through this federal law.
Mr. Sprigg, with the potential of a government shutdown, do you think that this is the best use of time in Washington, D.C. right now to be talking about this?
Well, I think that the House will be either instructing their own attorneys or hiring outside counsel to handle this case, so I don't think it's going to take up a lot of effort on the part of the members themselves. But I think it's very important for our constitutional system that laws that were duly enacted by large bipartisan majorities in both houses of Congress and signed into law by President Bill Clinton, I might add, should be defended in court.
All right, gentlemen, I want to thank you both for coming on today. Peter Sprigg, Evan Wolfson, I do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Good debate, guys.